He is shocking everyone as the Toronto Maple Leafs continue their hot stretch of games. A huge part of that has been prospect Fraser Minten, and Craig Berube has come out and spoke out about his future with the Leafs and the plans regarding whether or not they're going to send him down. We're going to break that down as well as discuss a major Yani Hakampaa update, some interesting news on his front as his situation continues to develop and get crazier. Stay tuned for all that in this episode, but before we get into a quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit it. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Darius, there's a lot to go over today. Obviously, the Leafs are coming off of a comeback win against the Predators in yesterday's game, and it was a very big game. Obviously, a huge win, and it's part of that win was, of course, Fraser Minten, who played very well. And you look at it now. You mentioned it. We talked about it on our stream yesterday. How basically at this point, it's we don't really know for sure whether or not Fraser Minten's going to be sent down until today. We got some clarity surrounding the situation, and I want to just touch on Fraser Minten a little bit more here as well. And he speaks out here. He's poised. He doesn't panic. He's always in the right spot. He continues to make a strong impression on the Leafs and gets rewarded with a second line opportunity against the Predators. So before we get into Craig Berube's quotes, I just want to get your thoughts on his game so far and what he did to earn himself ultimately a line promotion in yesterday's game when he put up 7 hits in the game and a ton of shots on goal. Obviously didn't translate to a goal, but he's been doing very well.
He's been playing really well. And I mean, he's changing my mind. I was of the mindset that this is a player who is just 20 years old. He's never played pro before this season, whether it be in the AHL or the NHL, except for a couple games we saw him in last year. And when we did see him last year, he looked very out of place. And it's not his fault. It's just the fact that he played pretty well in training camp and preseason. And they decided we'll give him a little bit of a shot. But in the 4 games that he played, he looked very out of place last year. And then heading into this season, you're thinking, okay, it's his first pro season. He's going to start to put his game together and learn how to play the pro game. With the Marlies, obviously an opportunity rose from, everybody being injured, and he's come in and taken that spot as the third line center. He has really changed my mind. He is playing really, really well. He's playing as if he's a veteran with a lot of poise and patience. And like Berube said, and we'll get into, he seems like he's always in the right spot because his process is correct. The way he's playing the right way, and he's creating opportunities for himself. He's outscoring other guys on the team. Like, I know a lot has been made about him outscoring David Kampf. David Kampf is a completely different player, but Fraser Minten is getting these scoring opportunities and scoring and putting up points because he's taking care of the puck in the defensive zone. He's taking care of where he is in all 3 zones. So he's been really, really good. And I wonder now at this point, if he continues to play like this, he's undeniable. So I do wonder if the Leafs, while they were looking for a third line center, have had one just drop into their lap here in Fraser Minten.
Yeah, he's been a surprise of how well he's actually playing. Again, we saw him last year. He played great in the preseason. Played 4 or 5 games for the Leafs, looked a little bit out of place, but now he's had some time to develop. He was coming off of an injury to start the season to his ankle, and now you look at it, and things are looking a lot better for him out there. And you see this here, well-deserved promotion. On Wednesday, Minten once again showed why he's quickly becoming more comfortable at the NHL level. The forward helped lead the charge with 5 shots, 7 hits, and 13 minutes of ice time. It was the 3rd straight game he led all Leafs forwards in hits before topping the team overall in physicality yesterday. I mean, he's playing a two-way game. He's been very sound defensively and offensively. I mean, the points, the goals, the assists, they're all coming, and they're going to continue to come naturally for him. He doesn't have to force it. We're seeing guys like Nick Robertson trying to force goals, trying to force shots on goal, because if they're not scoring, their impact is a lot less pronounced than a guy like Fraser Minten, where he can actually, obviously different positions, but can actually go ahead and provide a lot more value. And as you look at Fraser Minten, he might be the third line center of the future. He's 20 years old. His offensive instincts, or a third line center of this season, sorry, and then a big top 6 center for the future. His offensive instincts and physical presence are a full display. And Craig Berube spoke out, and they asked him basically, has he made a strong case to stay with the Leafs when healthy? Because again, he doesn't have the clear waivers. He can be sent down to the Marlies in the AHL. If he can help us, I want him here. He's the type of player that we like a lot. No practice, but Fraser is back on the ice for extra work today. Compares his work ethic to John Tavares. So, I mean, again, when he got called up, Brad Treliving came out and said and Berube as well, this is not a player we wanted to have call up this early, but we're going to give him the opportunity. And he might have just took it, and if he continues to play this way, ran away with it. It's a Craig Berube type player. His play style fits, and if the Leafs are winning more games with him, then I don't see any reason to set him down.
No, and I mean, he might end up getting sent down. I'll get to that in a second, but this is amazing praise from Craig Berube. This is a guy who wants a certain type of player and wants his players to play a certain type of way. And for him to be saying this about a 20-year-old means that you're doing a lot right now. And there's been a lot made over the last couple of days about how, pro ready he already looks, and the fact that he's being compared to Tavares in terms of, his preparation and stuff like that. I think that's great praise. Now, there's a lot of guys coming back from injury, right? So there's going to be a salary cap crunch. I could see a world. I do think it's actually very likely that he's going to be sent back to the Marlies because he doesn't have to go through waivers, right? So it's easy in that way for the Leafs. But I think they're going to buy time. I think that if he continues to play well like this, he may end up getting sent back to the Marlies, but they might make room for him. Pontus Holmberg is a guy, we talked about this on stream yesterday, is a guy who's struggling so far this season, right? He hasn't really figured it out and he hasn't had much impact. Nick Robertson as well. It looks like we could be hitting, a wall here where they may end up having to trade him. So they may end up making space for him. If you play really well, a team is going to make space for you. So if he continues to do this, if he's consistent, I could see a world where, yes, he is the Leafs third line center and they don't have a problem anymore. So I do, foresee him going back down to the Marlies. But again, I would see him right back up if they make room for him.
Yeah, and I don't like that idea. I want them to keep him going, but I mean, again, there's at this point it's still up in the air. But I think there's a world where they send him down, obviously because he doesn't have to clear waivers and some of the other guys do. But there's also a world where maybe they send a guy like Alex Nylander down, and not down, but through waivers, and let him go and let Fraser Minten kind of take over what has been a very impressive run for him. And again, he doesn't need waivers, so making a decision, it's a lot tougher. But they love the player. Craig Berube loves the player, and obviously the only caveat is he's only 20 years old, so there's lots of time for him to develop, and that might be a part of it too. Maybe they'd rather him develop a bit more in the AHL, even though he seems pretty NHL ready to me, albeit a very small sample size. So you also have guys like Nikita Grabenkin up who could also be sent down, so there's a lot of moving pieces here with that. So let us know down below what your thoughts are on this. Do you want to see Fraser Minten remain up with the club, or do you want to see him, I don't think many fans want to see him sent down, but I think it could logistically make some sense here. And regarding some injury updates, the Leafs won't practice today, but he spoke out, Craig Berube that is, on McCabe and Hakampaa. So McCabe is feeling better but will not play tomorrow, so he misses another game after being kind of saying that he was going to be fine for the game a couple nights ago, or 4 nights ago now at this point. Hakampaa, he got something done, a little procedure to help himself out a bit. He needs a few days, then he'll be back on the ice to get up to speed and be ready to go. So, I mean, Hakampaa has been the injury guy really since the signing, since it wasn't finalized, all these different things. But it seems like they are getting ready to go. Hakampaa, that is, and Jake McCabe. Hopefully they're back soon. And also surrounding Pacioretty and Max Domi, the Maxes, they're both making progress and getting closer. Neither are available for tomorrow's game. So no imminent returns tomorrow, but maybe we'll see something on Saturday or at the very least on Monday regarding these 4 players.
Yeah, I think a lot of these returns are on the horizon. They're coming very soon. We know that, a couple of the dates for, guys to come off LTIR are coming up pretty shortly here. So guys are going to start returning. On the McCabe front, you know what? The Leafs are winning. I said this yesterday as well. They're winning. There's no need for him to be in the lineup right now. It's not like they desperately need him. So let him get back to 100%. That's fine. On the Hakampaa front, I was concerned about this when I first saw this, but he was just named to Team Finland as well. So they must know something, which is pretty crazy, by the way. He's only played 3 games since March 16th. So he was named to Team Finland. So they must know something that we don't at this point in terms of, what procedure he got done and his timeline and everything like that. So it looks like he probably will return. It's going to help him out, and he'll probably get back up to speed, and he can get right back into games and playing his game. So that's exciting if you're a Leafs fan for sure, and obviously for Finland because he made the team. So one interesting thing out of this too, before we wrap up, is no matter who wins the 4 Nations Cup, a Toronto Maple Leaf is going to come home with a gold medal. So that's pretty good news if you're a Leafs fan.
Yeah, I'll obviously a lot of William Nylander for Sweden, Matthews, all these guys. So let us know down below what your thoughts are on that, and let us know again what your thoughts are on the Fraser Minten situation, because it's getting very interesting. It's going to continue to get interesting if he continues to play this way. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. See you later.